Hello and welcome to today's historic Best of 3 deck tech and gameplay video on Azorius Heroic. Azorius Heroic is built around really two parts. Creatures that have heroic themselves are some effective form of heroic, where as you can see from the Battle-Wise Hoplite, is an ability that buffs the said creature when you cast a spell on said creature. Now we have actual heroic cards, and then cards like Core Spirit Dancers, which doesn't directly say it has heroic, but functionally it has a form of heroic. So beyond the creatures that have heroic and want to have spells cast on them, we have spells we want to cast on our creatures. And because we have cards like Core Spirit Dancer, we have a load of aura cards that are the spells in question. Like the new Sheltered by Ghost, amongst others, where Sheltered by Ghost is what really somehow makes this deck even stronger than it was before, since previous versions of like blue-white Enchantress or similar heroic style decks were very all-in aggressive and were trying to blow you out before their deck could be answered reasonably. Sheltered by Ghost actually gives you a way to not only progress your game plan of, again, wanting to cast spells on your dudes, but also allows those spells to not only buff your dudes, but allows you to interact with your opponent's board, really shoring up a weakness to not only help the deck be more strong, but a little more resilient and a little less all-in on its original game plan, which is a fantastic little play. And of course, beyond the third pillar that you'll see in all my decks are just various glue cards. We have cards like Path to Exile, and I'm going to count Curator's Ward, even though it's also a heroic enabler, for lack of a better word. Basically, there are some cards that are giving you a little bit of utility, since even if you have all of the ethereal armors and aqueous forms and curiosities, basically if you have all of the spells on your dudes, it's only going to get you so far, and you do need some glue. But yeah, that's basically what we do. We play dudes, cast spells on dudes, and then with our big scary dudes, we run down our opponent. And the best part about blue-white is usually accruing some card, either flat-out card advantage or just some curation of your draws kind of thing. To our land base, pretty self-explanatory. Aggressive blue-white land base, since you want to hit the ground running, since the deck doesn't really go above turn 3 on the curve. The Seagate Restoration is not always relevant. So you really want to hit the ground running. Don't be too married to the exact particular lands. Just run lands that come into play untapped on turn 1 and turn 2. Since if you can't do that, the deck's going to be in for a really, really rough time. Beyond that, sideboard is pretty self-explanatory. Pardon the burp. A couple more Paths to Exile if you need more creature, hi sweetheart, interaction. A couple of Rest in Peace for Graveyard List. Dovin's Veto for just general non-creature hate, since the deck can still be susceptible to removal at the end of the day. Supreme Verdict, Settle the Wreckage are both in the Sweeper category, where Settle is one-sided and Sweeper is just a quote, guaranteed board wipe, end quote. Selfless Spirit is to protect our board from board wipes, since there's a good chance our opponent's going to bring them in. A single White Orchid Phantom for the occasional non-basic land you're scared about. Witch Enchanter for artifacts enchantments. Chameel to help your matchup against counterspell heavy decks. And a single Approach of the Second Sun if you need life gain or an alternate win con against a deck that really wants to stall you out. Or like some blue-white Enchantress or some blue-white control thing that's almost never going to let you like do your thing anyway. A single Approach with the Second Sun is a good alternate win con if your opponent can manage to stop your entirely damage-based win con, which is more relevant in my experience than one might think. But anywho, that's the basics of the list. Don't forget to like the video if you like it, subscribe if you like my grab bag of content and would like to see more in the future. And if you have any sort of questions, like, I don't have X, what about Y, or other generally nice and or constructive comments, I'll do what I can to respond to what I see. With all that out of the way, we'll go on now to game number 1. And game number 1 with our little Azorius heroic list. And as I always say, we play first because we have a brain. Perfectly fine hand. 3 lands. The rest spells, things we can play. Can't really ask for much more. Probably going to be a core Spirit Dancer on too, since this is one of the real like money cards here. One of the few cards that, and I'm pretty, first off, Hallowed Fountain tapped in the past. One of the few cards that's pretty non-negotiable in the list is core Spirit Dancer. It really is the like foundation upon which the deck is built with, or built on, and without it, you're going to have a really rough time. It does many things you want to do. It's one of those, it's a payoff for playing auras, both in card draw and size. It's a big threat. It's cheap on the curve. It's the only card that I would argue is actually required. Anywho, haul the Storm Giants into said core Spirit Dancer. Ketria Triumph tells me nothing. So we'll just generally do our thing and hope our opponent can't interact. Okay. Sorry. When this card becomes target spell or ability, sacrifice it. When it dies, draw a card. Okay, so the typical illusion stuff. Historically, anyway. Okay. I guess we'll do a blue pathway. Staggering Insight. Maybe they have some sort of, like, shock-style removal spell. No. Maybe a bounce? Well, if they're Teamer, they're not going to have a lot of traditional removals, so we got that going for us. Granted, if you bounce, you know, a particularly enchanted creature, it's going to suck. But we're kind of okay with that. And to be fair, I also, when the new Jumpstart thing came out, and I saw all of the illusion cards, I too also have, like, the... I'm sorry? Okay, now I don't know what your deck is. I was gonna say, now I have a... Myself, I have a bare bones version of a illusion deck sitting uncompleted in my list, but I don't think there's enough there yet. Might as well play the the Seagate, not the Restoration. Play a Spirit Dancer and just pass. I now no longer have any idea what their deck is doing. Some 4-color pile of cards so far, which is fine. I don't mean that in like a negative way. Just there's no through line so far, so it's just a pile. Opponent's really in the tank. Okay. That's cool. Now we know that they are running edicts. I really don't want to go all in on the Spirit Dancer, but the Slasher kind of needs to be removed. Maybe we draw a white source and we can, like... Well, no, that's not a white source. I was going to say maybe we draw a white source and can play another creature. But if nothing else, next turn we'll play another creature and try and hopefully not walk into another Shieldred's Edict and, like, lose our big scary creature. So they do have bounces. I mean, okay. That helps. Do you... I think I'm actually going to just play... Yeah, I'm going to play 2 creatures now. To be honest, even if they hit me with the Slasher, we're at a big life total. We don't need to worry that much. This card is, by design, granted, you know, very sticky threat. But that's all they have. I don't think I need to worry that much. I mean, cool. Cool. Yeah, go ahead. those are certainly cards. I guess we'll play a Sheltered by Ghost on the Spirit Dancer. We're going to spread our threats out a little bit so that another bounce or removal spell isn't going to totally mess us up. I still want to get rid of the Slasher, if nothing else now, just because of the death touch is the biggest issue. I guess we'll do a Brajone, or however you pronounce it. And like an Ethereal Armor. Yeah, Ethereal Armor. Why not? Do it on a Hoplite. And of course, Scry first. Honestly, it's pretty good. Granted, we can't play it right now, but still very good. You can't double block and easily remove a thing. Feeling pretty good. That's fine. That works. It's one of those I get the life link back anyway. Gonna try and save the next Sheltered by Ghost for like a particularly scary thing, since we're very far ahead. We don't really need to waste our very limited removal on like weird threats. Or, well, threats. Again, they shouldn't they have bounces. They could bounce some stuff, and that would stink. But we did the responsible thing and are now spreading out our, our threats. Creature, till the turn, untap it. Gains haste whenever this creature does combat damage to a player at battle. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, gonna do just largely the same thing. Again, I'm just gonna try and commit to my board plan. Do largely the same thing. And again, spread out our threats over several targets and just hope we get there eventually. Okay, the ward's pretty good. The ward and that, well... Yeah, I'd want to do the first ward on the Spirit Dancer, even if it isn't historic. And like the second one on the Brajone or whatever. Sure, we'll play that. And sure, we'll play the Hoplite. I wouldn't think they'd have sweepers, but I mean, I guess I could be. Drawing cards, doing things. Feeling pretty good. Even if they have some weird sweeper, which they shouldn't have at this stage, but even if they do, we can always cash in. Okay, cash in the Cannon on our soldier here. I've seen this card. Draw 3 cards, gain 6, 3, 2, 1 flying bats. End of step, discard, lose 2, sack. When it leaves battlefield, you discard. Okay. Oh yeah, I think I tried to make that card work in a as foretold list before I actually read the card and understood what the hell it was trying to do. They have a lot of blockers though, so they have like stalled sufficiently. So maybe we'll actually, well, yeah. In response, actually, we're gonna look for something deeper with the old Brajone here. Maybe like an Aqueous form. It's not an Aqueous form. Okay, they could theoretically, what, 2, 4, yeah, they could block and kill the core Spirit Dancer, so we're not doing that. I guess Curator's Ward on our anime sword waifu here. Drawing more cards. Very nice. And I got... No, we don't need to be silly. Just threaten lethal with the Hoplite. Make him start chumping. Let's see. Unstep, discard, looks like creature, release battlefield. Okay. Yeah, feeling pretty good. This way we can always hold up a Sink into Stupor if there's a particularly scary card we need to be worried about. I don't think there is, but in case we need to worry. Next turn I can always play the Staggering Insight on maybe a Core Spirit Dancer, if not the Hoplite. Just again, try and make our board big and scary. I mean, okay, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I've literally never seen the disguise mechanic, so I had not used to it. Silence battlefield. It says you, but I don't think I own this, right? He still owns this. Does this work like I think it works? Like, if that's the bit, like, it's very cute, but it's super convoluted. Control, they gained each way. Okay, this card is worded weirdly, because it just says you, but you would... I mean, I guess we'll find out. Also, what am I doing? I could just give him back the Gambit. I'm sitting here spazzing over nothing. We're far enough ahead that I'm not gonna take the chance of this working like I think it might work. So we're just gonna Sink into Stupor. Okay, that answers my question. So I control this card. I mean, okay. That's odd, but sure. Got there in the end, I guess. Creature, artifact, or enchantment, one less. That also gets us there. You can take this back, sir. Hi, Caramel. Oh, it does work. Okay. Okay, now that I know, I'm happy. 1, 2... What's the third card we're going to get rid of? I guess the Sink. Okay, like, that's very cute and all. I still maintain, I don't think that's good. It was a really, really convoluted way to get there eventually, I guess. I mean, good on you, I guess. Yeah, that's just a really odd choice. But hey, it is a card that resolves. See, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You couldn't kill everything anyway. I guess we can get rid of the Vran. Yep. Land. Threat and lethal. Try and make some stuff happen. With the Azorius form, it would have been good. We just haven't found it yet. Can you disguise and upkeep on the same turn? Anytime for disguise cost. That's a... Okay, that's cool, I guess. Yep. What is that? I think the red card is like Harmful Offering or something like that, where you can just give me control of it. The Coveted Falcon is a very convoluted way to get to the same spot. But if it does it for him, I guess it does it for him. That's cool. That's cool. Now we're just digging for an Aqueous form or something. If nothing else, we have to attack now for the life gain, if nothing else. Because if we don't, then we're just guaranteed dead. Although, doing it like this, we do actually hold up the Iganjo, so we can remove something if we need to. I guess we can do a leader and also still have... Yeah, sure. I mean, our opponent is doing a good job of stalling. So good on him, I guess. But now we have hexproof, so it's going to be a little harder. Their fucking deck is all over. Yeah, cool. Yeah, they... Cool. That's fine. Their deck is a 4-color pile, if ever there was one. Okay, what the fuck do I even do? Selfless Spirits don't do that much. Honestly, just an approach and a Chameel here to try and get some card advantage back. Leader is not going to be that useful. I guess a Hoplite can go. Credit given to our opponent, I guess. They did the thing. Now that I think about it, did we see a single green card that whole game? Yeah, we'll go ahead and keep it. 4 lands, 3 spells, got some juice. We just got to find a thing to juice, and then we're golden. I mean, now also we know what our opponent's doing, so like they're going to be in for a much more difficult time. That's cool. Still haven't drawn a creature. Not that good. But not the end of the world. That's cool. Okay, we're still... Okay. Unfortunately, we still haven't drawn creatures in our pretty creature-centric deck, which is an odd occurrence, but... One, it's a card game. RNG happens. But you also do need a pretty, in my experience, even mix of... Oh, what's the word? Of the creatures and the things to cast on the creatures. Otherwise, the deck doesn't really work if it's too far weighted in any one direction. This is not going well. Eventually, we're going to find a creature, and when we do, oh boy. Okay, let's let him get the attack first. Because if we're not going to draw our creatures, we got to get rid of theirs. A weird 4-color land base. Okay, that's something. I guess I really don't want to just... You know what? No, I didn't want to just run the Spirit Dancer out for it to get immediately removed, so I'm just not gonna. They haven't really also done the big thing yet. Okay, they're particularly scared about the life gain, which is fair, I guess. Unless we draw something... That helps a lot, actually. Yeah, I was going to say, unless we draw something drastically different, our plan remains largely the same. I guess they could have like an unsummon thing going on here. If they do, this is gonna stink. It's the only thing I could think them having all this priority for. We do draw the card, though. Because we do like cards. Or not. Okay. I don't think I super care about the Tibalt to where I feel like I need to remove it. Okay, this dude's really scared of a life game. Guess we block you, and I will block the Nemesis. That's actually something that might warrant the removal. Because that turns it off for the rest of the game. Oh, yeah. Never mind. Now it doesn't matter. Hang on. Learn our lesson. Don't go all in. They have weird fucking cards. Yeah, I guess we'll just hexproof that too. We can't gain life anymore, so don't gotta worry about that. Yeah, and so weirdly, I don't even need to care about their Tybalt. They can't activate it unless they have Proliferate or something goofy. They've now just sort of overlapped some effects they kind of didn't need to. Sorry, did the music die? Oh, there we go. I mean, yeah, good on you, opponent. You did turn off my life gain for the game. There's the Greed's Gambit. Block the 1/1s. Yep. I mean, okay. I guess they're doing pretty good since they turned off my life gain. I'm losing the battle in a way. Spirit Dancer getting rid of the Gambit. Let's see what we draw. That helps. See what our opponent gets rid of. Give me a second. Gotta get rid of some stuff. So you, there goes your cards and your life. I would argue they don't need to care as much about the what's the word? The life gain hate as they think they do, but sure, we'll take it and just go face. And actually, I am gonna cast this on old Brajone. Old Brajone. Play the Restoration. Luckily, the Approach of the Second Sun doesn't require the life gain for the win to happen. So even if they manage to stall out with like more Greed's Gambit, feeling pretty good. I still maintain our opponent's list is a little bit of a pile that's like sort of all in on a fun interaction they had. But if they're having fun, who cares? Let them have their fun. Yeah, first approach. Yes, we don't gain life, but I kinda don't care. Just keep applying pressure to life totals. Again, we don't even need to care about the Tybalt anymore since we already can't gain life. Opponent has to block something or interact with something, and both of our creatures have hexproof. Granted, the enchantments themselves don't have hexproof, so I guess they could bounce those. Yeah. Just gonna go face. Removal's a good one too, though. That is pretty smart. Non-token of their choice. Let me draw in response. Yeah. I also get the card draw from it being historic with the Curator's Ward. And since we're just trying to draw deeper and deeper into our Approach of the Second Sun in a couple turns, we take those. They have another what's it called? Another edict effect. We're going to be pretty sad. Maybe they don't, though? Well, though, the edict is instant. But they should probably, if they have the edict, go ahead and cast it now, since I could have, like that. I'll count that as another edict, because it technically is. I was going to say they should just wait, but... I mean, good on you. Yeah, that is certainly a card. In a weird way, might actually... That is... Okay, hang on. How do we... 2, 5, go down to 3. We have to... Wait. Hang on. Yeah. If he plays the Nemesis and attacks, we gotta bounce the Nemesis back. This deck is not supposed to go this long, but sure. Where's the green? Please, show me a green card that justifies all these weird mana choices. Anywho. Huh. I gave one... Okay, that wouldn't be that worth it. If they go to attack, we will... Eh. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have to do this anyway, unfortunately. Just play the harmful offering. It will get you to the same spot. House Meld. Creature, enchantment. Cool. That helps. Helps a lot, actually. I don't think it saved us outright, but it gets us very close. It doesn't actually... Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, there's no way. That's so frustrating. Is there any way? Oh, no. Okay, okay, okay. I forgot him having to sacrifice 3 creatures. I thought it was sacrifice a creature. I think we're okay. I think, right? We're good? Granted, there's a lot that kills us, so we aren't good, so that has to kind of be said. We're at the top deck. What do they have? Although... I mean, even if they remove our thing... It would... Okay, yeah, it would suck a lot. Oh, for fuck's sake. Wait, do I care? Like, he makes a lot of dudes and draws and does all that jazz. But I think if I understand this right, I should... Oh, get the fuck out of here. Okay, yeah. The very end they went... Yeah, cool. Okay. Sure, that is certainly an outcome. And yeah, it is the way you respond to creatures with like hexproof and ward and shit is that you play edicts and make me sacrifice it. That does technically happen, though I've never seen this deck ever, so this is not a common occurrence, but yeah, sometimes you'll still manage to lose, oddly. Anywho, on to game number 2. And game number 2 with our little Azorius heroic list. Unfortunately, we don't get to go first, but it's fine. Deck still works just fine on the draw. Well, I'm assuming our opponent is going to have a brain and go first, but, I mean, I guess you never know. Although, hopefully our opponent's here. Maybe they're not, though. Oh, okay, hold on. We're cooking. There we go. Yeah, 2 lands, but like a load of 2-cost spells. That's fine. See what our opponent's doing. Okay. Some sort of life gain list. It can be difficult for this list, but not always. Play our tap land first, since we don't have anything to do anyway. That's cool. Always enjoy when people manage to find, like, uses for lands. Ooh, an extort list, too. Ooh la la. Guess we'll play our first Spirit Dancer. Although I imagine we're going to be in for a rough time against the 2 removal colors. Anything cool to do? If you gain life, each opponent loses a life. This is one of those, like, life gain and drain things. Unironically, even if I lose to this, this is, like, an actually interesting list. Can't block. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses a life. Guess we do the Stupor. We'll name is Sheltered by Ghost. I actually want to get rid of that Cleric. I think that one's actually going to be the biggest problem right now. I really like our opponent's list, though. Luckily, life gain of our own should hopefully help us keep in the race a little bit, since Extort can really get away from you. By design, I do actually really enjoy the mechanic. Ah, hell. I mean, good on you. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Probably just sacrifices the Marauder, as you often do with cards like that. I swear I don't normally go against this many edict effects, but sure, I guess. I guess we'll do the Iganjo as a land, play like a Spirit Dancer and a Hoplite. Hope we draw some gas. It's a weirdly popular day for edicts, but sure. You gain life for the first time in a turn? Is that what that says? Okay, okay. The list is fascinating. We're gonna bounce something. What would I bounce? Play this tapped. Such a weird spot to be in. I get weirdly out-chipped here, because now I've drawn too many creatures and not enough things to buff the creatures and play on the creatures. Yeah, weirdly the Cleric is what's doing it. Guess no attacks, since they have so much of a life buffer anyway. Without a sufficiently large creature, we're not even really, like, putting a dent in it. You can't play the Offspring cost now, though, which isn't great. Yeah. My God. This is awesome. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we draw unless we draw, like, a lifelink giver. That's so interesting. Yeah, we just die. Okay. Yeah, okay. What is this day? I mean, good on them. Good on them. They're doing the right thing. They're doing everything they should do. Can't really give them flack that much. I guess a couple settles would be nice. Yeah, the leader always sounds cool, but he never manages to work. Guess a hoplite can go. Guess another hoplite. It's not fun to wipe our own board, but I think it's going to be more required. Since if we don't, I think we're going to really lose this battle. I love our opponent's list, though, even if they're another person running... I think I've seen more edict effects in this video. Because, spoiler, this recording has happened all in one day. I've seen more edicts today than I have in, like, the last maybe week. Again, good on them. They're doing good. Now I have buffs, nothing to buff, so we'll throw that back. That's better. That is better. Curiosity can go. Hallowed Fountain tap, since I can't do anything anyway. Would love to find another creature, so I have, like, some bait to... Hall works. Yeah, we'll play old Jabroni here. And again, hopefully we find another creature, so we just have something to give away to edict effects. Okay. Now that I think about it, their list is pretty... Oh, that fucking stinks. Well, okay, it kind of stinks. Doesn't stink that bad. I was going to say, their list is, like, really budget-friendly from what I've been able to see so far. Which is nice. Hi, goofball. What are you doing? Sorry, I had to get the cat. I guess Pathway on White. And I guess a Curator's Ward. Kinda stinks. What are you gonna do? There's almost no way they block. Since they are a life gain deck, they are doubtless gonna have their own countless ways to gain this life back. Hey, Goober. Yeah, it's just the dog. He's not messing with you. Really looking for that other creature here. That's fine. We don't love that, but like it's not a thing that gets rid of our only creature. I guess that's the $1,000,000 question. What do you take here? It's probably the Sheltered by Ghost, I'd imagine. Or I would. Let me rephrase that. I mean, that makes sense, I guess. I just don't think I have the critical mass for an ethereal armor to be that scary. Gonna cash in the 1/1 counter. I mean, Hoplite's another creature. That does the thing I wanted to do. Play a Hoplite. Play the Ghost, because now I can just get back the ethereal armor anyway. And apply pressure. We're having a much better start here. Maybe our opponent just had an absolutely banger draw. This is why we ran the extra creature. Take your life. Sacrifice some non-token stuff. Hoplite, you're gone. Gonna cash in the 1/1 counter again. That's great. We love more creatures to be fodder. Play the Hoplite. There we go. That's more like what the deck wants to do. Honestly, actually, maybe some vetoes would be good. And like a Curiosity can go down. Pearlers is a little cute, but they have enough removal that I don't think I'm going to really get a whole lot of mileage out of this. Sneeze incoming, maybe? Okay, I think we're okay. I think we beat it. What do we have? All buffs and nothing to buff. 3 lands, but we get an extra draw. I'm going to keep this, even though I don't love this. I just hope we find something. That's more lands. That's not useful. Come on, creature. Give me a dude to play. That's cute. That's not a dude to play, though. I mean, maybe I'll absolutely eat my words. But the hand, in my experience, seemed okay enough, and I assumed I would eventually draw into a creature. Or a non-zero amount of gas. But luckily, they're not applying that much pressure. Although it is something. Each of your turns, right? Each of your turns. Oh my... You gotta be fucking kidding me. Yeah, sometimes you just start to flood a little bit, which isn't great. That really, really stinks. And I know we did take a lot of creatures out. That's fine. I know we took a lot of creatures out, but it's not like we drew like one of the sweepers or whatever we kept in. To where like it would at least make sense. We haven't even drawn our sideboard cards to make, you know, drawing like this feel better. Honestly, yeah, you can take whatever cards you want, because without anything to buff, none of these cards really mean anything. Cool. That is certainly damage. Afford to take one for a turn, I guess. Okay, now we got it. Yeah, okay. Sometimes you flood. It is an unfortunate reality. We're going to have to sink in the stupor the cat collector. Which might be the most painful thing ever. We still have to do this, even though they're going to have the cleric here. That's so fucking painful. Yeah, that's... Oh well, sometimes you flood, and sometimes you get lucky. Unless we draw a sweeper, we just die, right? 1, 2, 3, I can bounce that. He played... Oh my god. I guess we're not technically dead. Is my only, like, saving grace, I suppose. Sink into stupor on the cleric, buy me a turn. Go down to 3. I think we need to exactly draw a sweeper, and even then we're probably in a rough spot. Our opponent's deck is, though, like, it's really budget friendly. I really like it. That is a dude, but it's a dude too late. So, he plays a creature. It's one... Yeah, we just died. That absolutely stinks, but it's one of those... It's the nature of a card game. You're going to draw weird sometimes, and those draws are going to make you lose games. I maintain this deck is good. It's one of those... Quickly after the ladder reset, this list shot me back up to platinum. Or it's got me to platinum, I should say. It's a good list. It works. This is another one of those weird videos where the games itself are not representative of the average performance of the deck. The average performance is way better. Our opponents just happen to have really good decks. Not only because they both played black and had a load of edicts and were therefore able to get around some of the hexproof and ward stuff we had, which also happens, but this opponent's deck had a little life gain, and as a color combination, blue-white doesn't have the greatest answer to life gain decks beyond trying to go faster than it. And if you can't manage to go faster or you have really bad draws, they're just going to create such a buffer you're not going to be able to respond. But anywho, the deck is still very fun, and again, is good, so I will come back to it in the future. And if you wanted to play it, honestly, I think you could have a lot of fun. You don't have to run every single card in the list. Again, probably besides the Spirit Dancer, that's the only sort of requirement for the list. Beyond that, you could have some budget like suggestions here or there, and you'll be okay. You don't have to be totally married to it. But yeah, deck is fun. I'll come back to it in the future. Even though this particular video didn't show it in the greatest light, I promise the deck is better than this. Anywho, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you like it, subscribe if you like my grab bag of content and would like to see more in the future. And if you have any sort of questions or somewhat nice and or constructive comments, go ahead and leave them down below and I'll do what I can to respond to what I see. And since it's very cold here in North America and snowing and icy, stay safe and stay warm out there. Bye-bye!